All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a system that promises to bring, believe it or not, perfect order to, well, one of the most chaotic places on Earth, the modern restaurant.
You know the vibe, right? If you've ever worked in one or even just been in a busy one, you feel that frantic energy. But the big question is, can technology really step in and turn all that chaos into a perfectly controlled, super efficient machine?
And that really is the core challenge, isn't it? It's this high-stakes tightrope walk. You're trying to give every customer an amazing experience during that dinner rush, but at the same time, you've got to somehow keep everything running with, flawless efficiency. You need control over every single moving part.
So that brings us right to what we can call the restaurant management dilemma. It's this fundamental problem that, let's be honest, a lot of the old-school ways of doing things, they just can't solve anymore.
Yeah, the old way just isn't cutting it. It's time to, and I'm quoting the source material here, forget old notebooks and manual table management. I mean, just think about it for a second. Little paper notepads for orders, trying to remember in your head which tables are free. These are like the classic ways things go wrong during a busy shift.
Okay, so if the old manual methods are the problem, what's the solution? Well, the idea here is a strategic one. Bring in a digital partner to do all the heavy lifting.
And this is where AI restaurant management enters the picture. And there's a really important point made here. It's not being sold as just another app you download. No, it's positioned as a strategic partner. The goal isn't just to get rid of the notepad. It's way bigger. It's about boosting profits and, maybe even more importantly, freeing up a manager's most valuable resource, their time.
But what does that actually look like on the ground, during a crazy dinner service? Let's break down exactly how it streamlines the day-to-day operations. Okay, so the whole workflow is built around simplicity and, crucially, eliminating errors. So, step 1, your waiter takes the order on this really clean visual interface. No more scribbles. Then, and this is key, the second that order is in, the system automatically blocks that table. So there's no way another host can accidentally seat new guests there. And finally, once the bill's paid, an admin just frees up the table in the system and poof, it's available again. It's a totally clean, closed loop. So that's the efficiency on the floor. But what about the view from the manager's chair? Well, this is where we get to the promise of having total control, all from one central dashboard. This dashboard gives you absolute real-time control from just one screen. Think about it. You can change menu prices instantly. You can add a new waiter and assign them specific tables for their shift, and you can see a bird's-eye view of the whole floor, all at the same time. The most important thing here, it gets rid of all the blind spots. And that level of precision goes right down to the nitty-gritty of the finances. So the source we're looking at focuses on a Romanian version, and it points out how the system automatically calculates their really complex local tax rates, like 11% and 21%. Now that might sound like a super small detail, but it's actually a perfect example of how automation can get rid of huge headaches and, really costly accounting errors.
And that financial control even improves the customer's experience. The system spits out these professional, custom-branded digital receipts. But even better, it gets with the times. It embraces modern payments. Customers can just scan a QR code and pay instantly with their banking app. It's all about making that last part of their meal just as smooth and professional as everything that came before it. Now, this next quote really marks a critical shift in thinking. No more working on assumptions. So we've seen how the platform handles the day-to-day operations. Now let's talk about how it helps a manager actually understand what's going on and make smarter decisions.
See, this is where the system goes beyond just control and gives you true insight. A manager can see total sales in real time. They can track tips to see who their star performers are. They can look at historical trends, and they can spit out professional reports with a click. You're not guessing anymore about which dish is the best seller or which server is the most efficient. The data just tells you.
So when you put all of these pieces together, right? The smooth operations, the total control from the dashboard, and these powerful data-driven insights, you get to the ultimate promise here, the promise of success.
The whole philosophy, the whole reason this thing exists, is built on one single idea. To replace those old, outdated, error-prone ways of doing things, the ones that rely on memory and, frankly, a bit of luck, with something way, way better. And this slide really spells out that core transformation.
You're going from scribbled, handwritten orders to a clean, digital interface. You're moving away from that constant risk of double booking cables to smart, automatic blocking. And maybe most importantly of all, you're ditching the financial guesswork and instead making decisions based on cold, hard, real-time data.
Ultimately, what this is an appeal to shift your whole mindset, to go from just managing problems to actually leading your business. The goal is to stop spending your day putting out fires and to start building for the future.
Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. With costs going up and customer expectations getting higher every day, is this kind of all-in-one, data-heavy digital system no longer just a nice-to-have? Is it becoming the actual blueprint for what it's going to take to run a successful restaurant from now on? That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.